Starboard heat shield 7 is gone, Charlie called out as calmly as he could over the din of their ship more or less tearing apart. He was going to carry out his duties like a professional if it was the last thing he'd do, and the way things were going, it was starting to look like it might be. Copy that, Captain Renard bellowed over the noise. Gaspari, redirect the primary debris shield to cover as much of Starboard 7 as possible. Pull power from wherever you have to. Rika Gaspari, his second in command, began frantically throwing switches, inverting the power flows, her hands a blur of activity as she carried out her orders. The ship's rattling lessened but did not cease. Still low on power, Captain. The atmosphere has some powerful radiologic properties that are wreaking havoc with our phase shielding. I don't know if it's going to be enough. Then pull power from life support. Sir, won't we need that? Charlie asked as he struggled to keep the engines from redlining into critical and blowing them all to hell. Not if we don't survive atmospheric entry. First things first, right now, getting down in one piece is the highest priority, the captain replied. Rika did as she was ordered. A moment later, the crew felt the ever-present breeze of recirculating air that moved about them cease. It was something they were so familiar with that they didn't even notice its presence until it was abruptly gone. Done, Captain, Gaspari announced, her close-cropped hair sticking to her damp forehead. 20 seconds until we clear the exosphere. Copy that. Jamal, are you suited up? The captain asked over internal comms. Affirmative, Captain, he said, prepped and standing by with backup fire suppression. The Chief of Security and Emergency Services had geared up the moment things began to sway out of parameters, which was just before they were unceremoniously sucked through a massive wormhole and spat out Lord knew where. His foresight was a good thing. It was looking like things were about to get a whole lot worse. The ship bucked and tossed, its hull glowing bright orange on the edges of the strange world's atmosphere, pummeled it with brutal intensity. It was a rough ride in command. Captain Renard knew the rest of his crew were being subjected to a vicious beating in their compartments. He just hoped they had strapped in. They launched with 24 living crew aboard, and he planned to keep it that way. The command module's power flickered and dimmed. Losing primary power, Gaspari said. I see it, Charlie replied, already in motion, rushing from his seat to the door to the adjacent engineering compartment just off the bridge. His team in main engineering down below would keep the reactors powered up. It was his job to keep that power flowing to the controls during flight. Smoke greeted him as he manually opened the door with the backup access crank tucked into the wall panel.